Today we will be discussing 7th chord lead sheet symbols, inversions, and the figured bass. This project is presented to you by Joe Ortiz, Mark Olsher, Ellis Carroll, Daniel Weichert, and Jennifer Lee. Let us begin with 7th chord lead sheet symbols, starting with the major chords. The first and most common way to notate a major 7th chord is by using a delta and a 7. Another way to notate a major 7th chord is by using the abbreviated major as MAJ in a 7. The last way to indicate a major 7th chord is by using a capital M followed by a 7. A dominant chord can be easily illustrated just by using a 7. There are a few ways to indicate a minor 7th chord. The first is by using a dash and a 7. Another way to indicate a minor 7th chord is by using a little m, or the abbreviated MIN, followed by a 7. Like the other chords, there are multiple ways you can indicate a half diminished chord, or a minor 7 flat 5. The first is by using a circle with a forward slash through it, followed by a 7. Another way to notate a half diminished chord is by using a dash 7 and a flat 5. By far the most common way to indicate a fully diminished 7th chord is simply by using a circle followed by a 7. Now we have come to augmented 7th chords. Like the others, there are multiple ways to notate augmented 7th chords with lead sheet chord symbols. The first of which simply uses the plus sign followed by a 7. Another way to indicate this chord is by using the abbreviated AUG for augmented, or sometimes 7 with a sharp 5. Now we've come to inversions. Inversions tell the musician the distance between the bass note and the other notes within the chord. As you can see by our examples, all of these chords spell C major 7, but their notes are rearranged. This is when knowing how to notate inversions becomes very useful. Here's C major 7 in root position. It's in root position because the C is in the bass. Here's C major 7 in first inversion. This is where the C moves to the top and the E lies in the bass, the E being the third. Here we have C major 7 in second inversion. This is where the E now moves to the top and the fifth, being G, moves to the bass. Finally, we have C major 7 in third inversion. This is where B, being the seventh, replaces the G and is put in the bass. In a musical nutshell, figured bass is simply intervals above the bass note in the key signature. It was originally used for early improvisation up until the second half of the 19th century. Unless stated, intervals are never altered. If nothing is notated, a chord built from the given note will be a root position triad. Here we have C major. It's a root position triad, so it's indicated by a 5 and a 3. It can also be indicated just by a 3 or nothing. Here we have C major in first inversion. It can be indicated by a 6, a 3, or just a 6. Now we have C major in second inversion, which is indicated by a 6-4. For a 7th chord in root position, you'll see a 7, 7-5, or 7-5-3. The most common notation is just a 7. For first inversion, you can use 6-5 or 6-5-3. For second inversion, we see 6-4-3, or most commonly, just a 4-3. Lastly, for third inversion, we see 6-4-2, or simply 4-2. Now that we have the fundamentals in place, let's take a look at this in practice, with the popular song Blue Bossa using lead sheet chord symbols. 1, 2, 3.